G'day guys, just wanted to take you through some of the basics of the BitMEX platform. Of course, BitMEX has been around, I think, since 2015 or 16. It was the first derivatives platform for crypto, and I can remember using it back in 2017. Not much has changed as far as the interface goes. They have added some different products and whatnot, which I'll show you in just a moment. And I can inform you that I am currently working with these guys to try and make a platform that is a little bit more intuitive as well. So a lot of changes hopefully in the works to come, but for now, this is how you use it. All right, so when you log in, obviously you'll have to do your KYC, your ID, all that sort of stuff, the norm. You'll have your account. First things first, to deposit funds, you click on this little bugger here, this little wallet, and you can go ahead and buy through your through a credit card and whatnot, or anything that that works through here. It's easy peasy, straightforward. The other option that you do have for this is if you have crypto that you've already made a purchase of, you can send that over to the platform. Now, the two that you'll be looking to really have here will be either XBT, which is what they call Bitcoin, and USDT, and I'll show you why. So I'll go to derivatives here. You have two different types of derivatives, and it's basically settled in XBT and settled in USDT. So what it means is you can quite simply see the volume with XBT in many cases is far greater. That means that you're trading with collateral, your Bitcoin as collateral for your trading. So you'd put a balance in here of whatever it is that you wish to have up for trading. Of course, you do have margin available there for you, so you don't have to put as much on, which means less counterparty risk. So if I look up this in the search function, you can see that the XBT USD contract settled in XBT, using XBT as collateral, has by far the most amount of volume. When you go down and look at it against US dollar tether, it has, not even 1/10 of the volume. So if you are going to be holding Bitcoin, and this is what I would do in if you've got Bitcoin, I would be holding Bitcoin on the platform and trading in Bitcoin terms, just because the volume is better on a lot of contracts. When you have a look at something like Litecoin, it's not too different between XBT and USDT, but most of the time you will see that the XBT amount of volume is greater than the USDT. And the one exception of that we can see right here is, no exception. There is no exception. So the XBT is a good option there as well. I've got US dollar tether in this account. As you can see, when I come and click on wallet, you can see what your balance actually is. I've got 6,000 USDT, and I've got some Matic that I've been holding for some time. So I've got a balance of 8,500 US dollars on BitMEX right now, which is enough. Enough to do what I need to do for the time being. So from there, once you've got your funds in the account, we'll look at raising orders. And when you are looking to trade, if as I showed you before, the different contracts, XBT and US dollar tether are the two options that you've got available to you. You're not going to be able to trade one and not the other if you don't have any in there. So for example, I have US dollar tether on the platform, all right, in my wallet. If I click on the XBT option and say I want to use 10 times leverage, you'll note down in this bottom right-hand corner, unable to update leverage on position, account has 0 XBT margin available. Now, if I go ahead then and choose this one with the US dollar tether, I can change that freely to whatever level of margin that I would like to be working with. I typically just sit it at 10. It allows me the position sizes that I need for the time being. Now, I will be depositing more into the account and doing more with it, larger trade sizes and whatnot, once the market starts to provide a strong market to trade with in. But you can see, based on this chart, there's still plenty of volume. You can see it's not gappy. It's a nice looking chart. All right, so you can't get stuck with that if you don't have any on the platform. It will just not let you raise an order unless you actually have some of that, whether XBT or US dollar tether. So let's say we found a trade, right? Now, this one's already triggered, so I'll have to just do some different numbers for this to give the example and make it work. But what we've got here is let's say, and it's not a trade, it's an example. Just want to make that very clear. We're saying we want to enter as it breaks the high of this candle, and we want to have our stop loss underneath the low of this candle right here. Okay, so it's basically a cradle trade. So stop underneath the low, entry above the high of this candle. Now, the first thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and write on a piece of paper so we get these numbers correct. So for example, here, the high of this candle, and you look up here in the top left, always take the prices from the exchange you're trading with. In this case, obviously, we're trading with BitMEX. So I hold over this candle here, 268195. So I want to enter at 26,820 just as it breaks out through the high of this candle. So I'm going to write that on my piece of paper next to E equals, that is entry equals. My stop loss I'm going to put underneath this pivot here. This is the pivot point for which we've pulled back and we're starting to move away from. The low of that candle up here under the L, have a look there, $26,617.50. So I'm going to have my stop loss at $26,617, essentially just as it breaks that low. Now, you've got all these different options up here for limit. You can, raise a limit order. We're not going to do that for this particular order. We can raise a market order. We could do that if it was right at our entry price right now, but we're not going to do that. We're going to look at a stop market option. Now, the first thing we need to do is go ahead and manage the risk of this trade. This is the XBT USDT settled in USDT, which means that I have USDT available in this wallet. As you've already seen, it means that I will be settled in USDT. This is, you often trade in XBT in a strong market, or if you think Bitcoin's going to go higher, or you hold Bitcoin on the platform, which means that when you make a profit, the profit is paid in Bitcoin. If you make a loss, it is deducted in your Bitcoin. In this case, being that it's USDT, the profit will be paid to me in USDT. The loss will be deducted in USDT. So we're going to go over here to this little button right here. This one. Click on that. Now we're going to put in our entry price and our stop loss. You can see I've already done that. 28,820 is the order for which I wish to be filled in, and I want to get out at 26,617. I put both of those levels in. Then I need to work out my profit or loss. So what I'm looking to do here is risk, say, just to make it simple, make it $100, all right? So 0.2, what does that say? That's $40. 0.45. Okay, we'll just go 0.5 then. And that's fine. It's just a little tiny bit over what I'm looking to risk. So I now know that with my entry at 26,820 and my stop loss at 26,617 with half a Bitcoin with leverage of 10 times, don't forget it's not scary if you're using stop losses, that I'm going to make a loss of $101.50 if it goes against me. So what I'm going to do is underneath my E equals, which is my entry, S equals, which is my stop loss, which I've already written down, I also have a little one that says size. In this case, 0.5 is what the size will be. Now what I go and do is I come to stop market, right? So I'm going to put 0.5. That is my position that I'm looking to, the size of the position. I'm going to put in the level, 26,820. All right? So now I'm saying if it goes to that point, I want to be getting long half a Bitcoin at 26,820. I've already done the risk management. I'm comfortable with all of that. Now, I come down, you'll notice this, close on trigger. This, because it's a stop order, a stop market order, which means that at the market price, I will get filled, bang, as soon as it hits that price, or the best prices that it can fill me for the size position I'm taking. If I tick close on trigger, it means it's only there to reduce a position, to close a position or to reduce a position. Because I'm looking to use this order as an entry order, I'm going to uncheck that box. So that box is no longer checked. I now come up here, I hit set buy stop. Obviously you can go through all of this, double check all of this to make sure your numbers are all correct as it is meant to be. I hit buy. My order is now in, submitted to buy at that price. The second thing I now go ahead and do is I keep my 0.5 there and I go and put in my stop loss, 26,617. This time, because this is a stop loss, I hit close on trigger. Tick that box. Once I have done that, everything is all correct. The numbers are the way they need to be. I hit this, double check everything in here to make sure that my levels and numbers are all correct. I hit sell, place my stop. And there you go. Now I have my entry price in and I have my stop loss in. I have two stop orders right here, one to buy half a Bitcoin, one to sell half a Bitcoin. And then I can go ahead, if I wish to, and cancel all these orders just by one quick button. Okay? They're both now cancelled. There are no active orders available, and I can clear them out of the way. As you can see, the lines come up when your orders are in. Now, the reason I've cancelled that is because this is not a trade that I want to take. It is just for an example. Now, what I'm actually going to do here, just so I can show you how to take a profit as well, so we can scale out, I'm just going to set my my levels, very different to what I would actually be on this trade. So I'm going to have them far apart because I don't really want to get filled. This is for an example. Okay, so I'm going to say 26,900 is going to be my buy stop. Okay, I'm going to untick that. I'm just going to throw these orders back in. All right, so now you can see there's an order there, and I'm going to put the same stop loss level in because it's miles away anyway. And that is my stop level there, and I'm going to click close on trigger. And now we can see both orders are in. My entry is now up here. My stop loss is now down here. They are set. So what happens if I want to actually go ahead and close half of the trade? Well, once you've written down what your entry and your stop loss is, you'll have the trade risk. So you'll see the risk on the actual trade, how many dollars that is. You can then just chuck that on top. All right, so that's your one-to-one. I always put a little bit more in there to add for fees as well. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is you'll see up here where it says stop market, there's a little drop down. Watch. I can go a take profit limit order or a take profit market order. I'm going to hit take profit market. All right, so click on that. Now what I can go ahead and do is I can go ahead and put my target in. Now, as you can see, it's 0.25, which is obviously half of my position of 0.5 of a Bitcoin. And for just the example's sake, I want to exit at $27,000. In this case, that's what I want. So I hit take profit sell, chop that in, place that in, and now I have my take profit order there. Now, of course, this is not a good example of exactly one-to-one. It's probably more like that, something around that, but it doesn't really matter. And of course, you can amend your stops, target profits, all of those sorts of things, just by simply moving these numbers around. Now, I don't suggest that you do that. I suggest that you do it precise with highs and lows, and the right way of going about it is to do so in that fashion. So now we've got our entry price, we've got our stop loss here, and we've got our scale out position of one-to-one or whatever that it needs to be with half of our position. And that is how you raise a long order. Now, the opposite is true to raise a short order. So you just reverse the whole process, and I will have a cheat sheet as to each step so that you can download that and walk yourself through it. It takes a couple of times to get used to. Once you've done it a few times, you'll become a magician. It's very, very straightforward. So that's how you raise a long order using the stop market option so we can get filled on breakouts and cradle trades and the like. Hope it helps. Cheers, guys.